talk a little bit about Auburn and what the hell is going on over there. What in the world is Auburn doing? Not what OU is. That's for damn sure. Like, Oklahoma opens as a 2.5-point favorite on the road for its first road game in the SEC against Auburn. But Hugh Freeze is going through it. And Auburn fans feel less like Auburn fans and feel more like the Agricultural and Mechanical College of Alabama. Feel a lot like should be Auburn State down there. You know what I'm saying? Feels a lot like it does most years for Auburn, but this year is unlike others. As a matter of fact, I want to make sure I get this stat right because I think this stat is wild. Auburn is in danger of losing having its fourth straight losing season since the 1940s, 1946 and 1950. And that's going to be hung around Hugh Freeze's neck. Has to be. Nobody else to do it there. You have got Auburn fans going, you know what? Maybe Brian Harsin wasn't so bad. Dog, what? Okay. A dude that y'all absolutely put together the money to run up out of there. And remember, this is the same program that ran Gus Malzahn off. Gus Malzahn steers the Florida Knights. They are 3-0. They get Colorado this weekend. They look to be 4-0. Meanwhile, Auburn down there with Mississippi State in the bottom of the SEC. Do you realize that people feel more comfortable with what's going on at Vanderbilt's football program than they do at Auburn's football program? That it ain't War Damn Eagle right now. It's War Damn Dodo. Okay? It's War Damn Flamingo. All right? It's War Damn Canary. Because, A, you took this loss to Arkansas that a lot of people think you shouldn't have taken. Taylon Green didn't know what to look at and what to see. Played a really terrible game passing the football, but then Bobby Petrino said, you know what, let's just run it. And that was enough. Just running up and down on Auburn. Meanwhile, Auburn still can't figure out quarterback. Now, lot there, but not the least of which is you went to go get Peyton Thorne, which is a guy that Michigan State did not miss, by the way, when he chose to leave. And you gave him the job last year. Turns out, no, he can't do it. So what do? You start Peyton Thorne this year. You know what? Come week 4, we should probably go with Hank Brown. You know what Hank Brown does? He throws 3 interceptions, to which you have Hugh Freeze getting in front of media and saying players got to play better. Players got to execute. You know who else used to say that as it was coming toward the end? Mike Stoops at Oklahoma. I'll tell you how that went. He got fired. Bo Wallace came up out of the ether to tell everybody, nope, I'm tired of this. Hugh was throwing players under the bus. He's throwing them under the bus when I played. And remember, Bo Wallace won some football games at Ole Miss for Hugh Freeze. And he went ahead and gave everybody the 4-1-1 on your man Hugh. And you can go check that segment out on the show because we did it late last night. But it's all coming for Hugh Freeze. And I think, the problem starts with the head coach because the buck got to stop somewhere. But when you got a guy who came out last year and basically waved a red flag in your face saying, I need everybody to be just a little bit patient here at Auburn because it took Kirby Smart until year 3 or year 4 for Georgia to make the national championship game. Nah, fam, that was year 2. That was year 2. 2016, Liberty Bowl. 2017, threw Oklahoma into the national championship game. That's how that went for Kirby Smart. To which I'm sure Auburn fans are going, how do you not know that your rival in the Deep South's oldest rivalry, a game that dates back to 1892, didn't get to the national championship game in year 3, but in year 2? How do you not know that? That is one of 2 programs on the menu. You have to know everything that's going on and be the head coach at Auburn. You got to know about Alabama. You got to know about Georgia. This is also a man that going into this season said on Marty and McGee, 2 great dudes. Ryan McGee is a mensch. Anybody ever gets to meet that dude, he one of the coolest guys in my profession. Hugh Freeze says, I should have twice as many wins against Nick Saban than I do. And one of the reasons that he thinks he didn't have one is because he just didn't sit on the football when he was up by 20 plus, like you're supposed to, because he wanted to keep throwing the ball. Lincoln Riley likes to keep throwing the ball when he got a lead too. Just going to point that out there. So now we have Oklahoma headed to Auburn, and we got Auburn fans that's going to figure out who Oklahoma is in the midst of trying to figure out what the hell it is they're going to do with their football program, because I think now is a good place to talk about War Damn Eagle. For those of y'all that don't know, I was born on Tinker in Oklahoma City. Family quickly moved to Hattiesburg, where I was raised till I was about 9. Then we moved to Panama City, Florida, where I got to play baseball at R.L. Turner, so forth, so on. And then moved back home to Tulsa. So I am raised in the same city as Southern Miss, where Brett Favre became famous, Patrick Surtain became famous, Ray Guy, a punter, has the Ray Guy Award, went to Southern Miss. Also, my pastor went to Auburn. Couldn't help it. That's just what he did. He went to Auburn. He went to the Agricultural and Mechanical College of Alabama, and he's very proud of it, okay? So I learned very quickly and early in my life what War Damn Eagle was all about. In a place where, and I kid you not, they still call it the War of Northern Aggression, okay? What had happened was you got a dude that was from Auburn, wakes up on a battlefield, a lot of dead around, sees an eagle, that's just him and the eagle, takes that eagle home, becomes a professor at Auburn, keeps the eagle around, went to the game at Sanford, Auburn, Georgia, 1892. Eagle gets loose, it's flying around. Story goes, crowd said War Damn Eagle, and they've been saying it ever since, okay? I think it's a really cool story. I also think it also underscores just how important football is, because we're putting in the same parlance as war, but when you understand that football was created to simulate trench warfare, a lot of this becomes understandable. There's also, Auburn has always been very proud to be Auburn football. And every now and again, they show you why. So when Bo Jackson comes through, they get to show you why. When Cam Newton, who is the best college football player who has ever lived, put the Auburn Tigers on his back and carried Gene Chizik to the national championship, that was enough for me. Because Auburn ain't supposed to beat Alabama in Tuscaloosa 28-27, except Cam Newton makes it so. Stomps out Georgia. It was Cam Newton and the Pips. Okay? That's what Auburn was in 2010. I watched that man careen all the way to the national championship game where Michael Dyer had 143 yards on the ground. And that dude was always going to be a guy, it seemed. But it's Auburn. I tell you what. On the other side, you had Nick Fairley. That's it. You had Alabama. You got Alabama looking to be Alabama again. And here comes Auburn out of nowhere. And because they can have that sort of a year, they expect to be great most years. And frankly, you know what? They're decent. They're decent. They're not bad. I think if Auburn played in any other conference, we're talking about conference champion every 3 to 5 years, because that's just how well you can recruit to that place. To say nothing of, we've been talking a lot on this show about Jeremiah Smith, about Ryan Williams. We've talked a bunch about Ryan Wingo. We haven't talked nearly enough about Cam Coleman, but that was receiver 1A in the state of Alabama, right? He didn't win Mr. Football in Alabama, but he could have, because he's that good. But if you can't give him no service, it don't matter. Quarterback play, awful. Auburn's also looking at a program that is their own, that had 5 turnovers against Arkansas, 1 game of football, 14 turnovers so far this season. That means there are 128 teams with a better turnover margin than Auburn, who's at -5 right now. Okay? If you can't take care of the football, you're not going to win no games. That's just it. But defensively, also awful. DJ Durkin, a dude that Hugh Freeze was really happy to get, has allowed 25 third down conversions in just 4 games. And a lot of those conversions are coming on 3rd and distance. Like, this is actually the place where Oklahoma can't really gloat, because OU has converted just 16 of 57 third downs. So, I mean, that's 125th in the country. So third down is just going to be an exercise in futility for both of these programs, and we're really going to draw some conclusions if Auburn is able to convert more or stop more, and the same thing from Oklahoma, as we don't expect either one of these teams at this point play an SEC championship. I think that's being mild about it. Like, you can take that and do what you want. I also got to ask, if you are looking at Hugh Freeze as an Auburn fan and you don't like what you see, what are you going to do? Who is there to go get? Who do you think can right the ship? Because Auburn is in the Florida zone. They get into a place where they are going to fire and hire until they find somebody that can do for that one time what Gus could do for them. Would, bring them to the Sugar Bowl against Oklahoma? Coordinate an offense that wins a national championship? I think Gus Malzahn was perfect for Auburn. Auburn was perfect for Gus Malzahn, but they decided they would rather pay that man to go away. Fine. Never mind, that dude went to Blinn College and brought out the best football player in the sport ever. This is what Auburn is right now. And I think, if anything, Oklahoma's catching them at the right time on the road. Like, Oklahoma needs a get-back game. Ain't needed a get-back game in September for a long time, but this is who we are right now. It's one of the reasons why when I continue to tell people Oklahoma ain't got to worry about the SEC got to worry about Oklahoma, is because if there was half a quarterback back there, Tennessee would have felt that too. And it's coming. Like, you can see it. If you are being honest about it, you know that OU did not play nearly as bad as we thought they could, but probably should have played worse, given where you're fumbling the football, where you're putting the ball down, and that the defense is on par with anybody you want to play with. If you get the quarterback situation fixed, and Brent Venables will, get the play caller situation fixed, don't know about that. He promoted that dude. He liked that dude. He liked the duo. I know this, though. When Oklahoma went 6-7, you know who had to go? Ted Roof, because we couldn't stop nobody on defense. Guess what happened next year? We could stop people on defense, okay? I think that's going to happen. It just won't happen this year. And I think over the course of time, you're going to see Oklahoma contend with Alabama, contend with Georgia, like Texas does right now. And that'll probably be the way things are because, frankly, that's just what the program demands. I want to take one more moment to say it won't be like this for long, Auburn, because either you're going to get this win against Oklahoma or Hugh Freeze is going to be answering the same questions that Billy Napier is going to be answering himself. And I think you could take either one. As a matter of fact, I've talked to at least one Auburn fan that says, I hope y'all put 50 up on my team so I can move on from whatever this is. Yo, dog, that's where they at. That is exactly where they at.